Hello, we're back once again with some bonus content because we are, of course, building up to Sunday's All Ireland Ladies Junior Football semi final between Carlow and Antrim. Reminder just a shout out to our sponsors Cork and Precast, thanks, DB Recovery, Craig Carney Web Design, Balloons and Sweet Treats, Brennan Cabinet Furniture, and Breeze Nolan Physiotherapy. Joining us for the next few minutes to have a little chat is the vice captain of the Carlow side, Aoibhinn Gilmartin. Aoibhinn, good to chat to you. How's things? Camera's just gone for a second, wherever it's happened. We have Aoibhinn back. How are you keeping?
Good, Kevin. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all. I'm not too bad. Excitement building, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of preparation happening at the moment now just for the weekend ahead. So, yeah, the excitement's definitely starting to build. But I suppose we just have to treat it like any other game at the same time. So,
Yeah, that's all you can do, I suppose. I suppose for our viewers and listeners, will you give us a bit of a synopsis as to how the year has gone so far? I mean, from looking at your progress, there's been quite a turnaround since the league, obviously. But maybe take us back all the way to the start of the year and tell us how we got to this point.
yeah, well, we've a completely new management team in this year. So, although we've a lot of the same players, I suppose then it's made the season quite different. Just getting to grips with the new management and training and new structure. But we did hit the ground running from the start back in December, January. We trained very hard and we trained very hard throughout the league. And I suppose that is kind of reflected in our league results. We we did get heavily beaten by London and Limerick in the league. And then recently, I suppose last weekend, we were beaten by a point by London, which was still quite a disappointing result for us. But it showed that I suppose the league isn't reflective of the season or kind of our general standard. And hopefully at the weekend, we'll be kind of able to go out and prove where our standard is at.
Mm-hmm. I suppose a possible difficulty from a management point of view might have been to just stress to the entire panel that, it is a process. And I think the fact that even though you lost the game, there's only a point in it, that is still a mark of progress. So like that is a difficulty. Sometimes we want results straight away. We want results kind of yesterday sort of a thing, right? And that's just the nature of sport, I suppose. But they've come now. They've come at the right time. And here we are in All Ireland semi final. Now, I know for a few people on the panel, it mightn't have been the first time that they're faced into an All Ireland semi final. There has been a few over the past couple of years, we'll say, but you seem very well prepared this time. And I suppose Antrim wouldn't be unfamiliar as opponents either, would they?
No, well, actually, it's funny because you just mentioned that it's not the first time we're in a All Ireland semi final, but we've actually played in two All Ireland semi finals now at this point in the same pitch, and we've gone to extra time in both of them. So we have been thereabouts for a number of years now. But yeah, it was Antrim again last year who we met at this stage, and we got to extra time with. But unfortunately, they were victorious at that point. But I think we have made a lot of progress since that time last year. We've new players in. The team has changed, and you can definitely see a lot more. Even throughout the team, there's a lot of players who hadn't had much experience kind of playing together at that point from different clubs and stuff. But there's a lot more kind of sequence on the pitch, and we're working better together. So.
Mm-hmm. If I'm involved in the side as manager or player, I'm thinking to myself, out of all the things you could get, this is the one team that I actually want, because you want to kind of, I suppose, exercise those demons a little bit. And maybe you're not quite looking at it in that particular regard, and you probably shouldn't look at it in that regard. But at the same time, you know, you want to crack at someone who's kind of got a result over you before. So I'd say in terms of opponents, you're not too disappointed that as Antrim.
No, well, there was only 2 points of a difference between Antrim and Limerick. Obviously, if we had managed to beat London, we would have got Limerick. But there's clearly not much between those two teams. And even though Antrim have topped their group now, I think it would be a pretty even playing field between Limerick and Antrim, were we to come up against either of them this weekend. So if you do get through, I suppose, the semi-final, you're going to have to meet one of them in the final anyway. So bearing that in mind, it's probably no harm to maybe even get the stronger team earlier on. and yeah.
So in terms of players stepping up, like there is a few notable injuries that you have and it's well documented, right? But we have new blood in the side who really have delivered in terms of scoring in particular. And maybe you give us a flavour of who they are.
Yeah, well, I suppose Sarah Doyle and Rachel Sawyer are two of our heavy and prominent scorers, and they always seem to deliver, especially when the chips are down in different games. And even throughout the year in, we had a few tough matches against intermediate teams, and they still managed to pull through with some unbelievable scores. I remember Rachel's goal against Wexford. I think she might have run the length of the pitch with the ball at that point, so to get a goal. So yeah, no, there's the two of them do tend to do a lot of our scores. Unfortunately,
Connections just dropped for a second. We might get Aoibhinn back there in a moment, but we just seem temporarily have lost her. There, you're back now. You're back with us. Yeah,
sorry.
you were saying there.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just saying that unfortunately, Clean and O'Shea obviously is gone from the forward line due to a cruciate injury, and she was obviously a very prominent scorer last year. She was the top scorer in the country. So Rachel and Sarah have really come to the mark, and then you have the likes of Niamh Kelly, who always gets a few great points and goals, and then the likes of Dan O'Brien has kicked some unbelievable scores this year and last year, both throughout league and championship, and you can kind of always rely on her to, if you need kind of a miracle shot, Dan is kind of the woman to be able to take it and deal with it under pressure. So yeah, no, we do have a good selection of scorers throughout the team, and yeah.
I think it's interesting, and maybe it is kind of a facet of ladies football in general that, like, you're still pretty much a kid, but you've been playing county football for, I'm guessing, 5 or 6 years, in around that mark.
Yeah, it was 2017 was the first time we made that was the first year I played senior, and that was the first time we made it to the semi-final. So yeah, or junior, sorry, yeah. But that was, feels like a good few years ago now, but yeah. We used to have a much younger team actually. I was only talking to one of the girls about it last night. We used to kind of have a situation where we had nearly all minors or just first year and a minor in the team, but we have kind of a good few people in their early and late 20s now. And I think we've 3 minors on the team this year that have come into the panel, and they're obviously brilliant. And it's great to have them, but it's great to have the kind of strength and depth and maybe experience throughout the panel as well, people who've played for a number of years at this point.
I think it's a credit to you for staying around as well. Do you know what I mean? And sticking with it, because, you know, one thing that would have killed Carlow for years in various codes was people coming and going, you know, in terms of panel wise. So at least, you know, a certain amount of, I suppose, have kind of stuck with the process regardless of how results are going. And that's a good thing, I think. But I suppose I don't want to take too much of your time because I know you're a busy woman. All I can do is wish you the best luck. So it is Sunday at 1:30 in Dunleer. And for anyone that wants to actually watch the game that can't get there, I think it's on the in-player page that Ladies Football have as well.
Yeah, it's being streamed live, so we definitely be grateful of any support that we could have. But yeah, you can tune in online as well. So
good stuff. Aoibhinn, the very best luck to you and all the girls involved. All right.
thanks very much, Kevin. We appreciate that.
There we go. Aoibhinn Gilmartin, vice captain of the Carlow ladies football team. Don't forget, you can, of course, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Left Wing Back. And a shout out to our sponsors once more: Cork and Precast Tanks, DB Recovery, Craig Carney Web Design, Balloon and Sweet Treats, Brendan Cabinet Furniture, and Breege Nolan Physiotherapy.